Hello, it is Social Media Saturday, June 20th, 2020. Steve Sipress here. And, I get excited when some of my favorite TV shows are coming up for the new season and I start seeing the promos coming soon next season. These days, they tend to play all the replays of the past seasons first for a few weeks so people can catch up and the word gets around and the buzz. One that I'm seeing lately, one of the top shows, and hopefully you're an entrepreneur watching this video, top shows for entrepreneurs got to be Yellowstone. This is a show about Kevin Costner running a ranch, I believe the largest ranch by volume, by acreage, in, I don't remember, Wyoming, Montana, somewhere way out there, and, rules it with an iron fist. And it's definitely an autonomous zone. I don't know if this season they're going to rename it the Chop Show. But anyway, still, that show pales in comparison to what is clearly the most entertaining show on TV these days. And we're having the debut of the new season pretty much right now as I speak, but luckily I have it on the recording going on. It's the Donald Trump Show. We haven't seen this for months, and we kind of haven't seen it for years. In campaign mode, and nothing's going to be like this one because he's been, bottled up and cooped up, and so have all his supporters for months, thanks to the great shutdown that Trump started, now can't get out of it because the anti-Trumpers won't let him. And so you got all these other subplots going on of, it's amazing how it's like the days just before the Trump show is about to launch, out come all these new reports just breaking. They just suddenly came out now from the World Health Organization and Fauci and this, that, all the anti-Trumpers all over the world are like, now the virus, a second wave and a new strain, and you're going to die if you don't go, if you go to the rally, and you're going to die anyway if you just walk down the street, or, we're still being trained to not to love our neighbor. We're being trained to fear our neighbor and believe that our neighbor is going to kill us, potentially, and therefore all our neighbors should be wearing masks when they walk by us. Otherwise, they're bad neighbors. We got to shame them because even though, 99% of them are perfectly healthy, they might kill us. If that's how we felt about driving, we would never drive. I'm driving 40 miles an hour, about 4 feet away from a car going 40 miles an hour in the other direction, and the only thing dividing us is like 2 little 4-inch yellow stripes of paint. But I trust the other driver, clearly with my life every time I drive, not to swerve into my lane and smash me head on and kill me. In the same way, I trust my fellow neighbors not to give me some kind of a virus that I'm going to cough for a few days. And if I had some underlying circumstances and issues, whatever, of course, I would stay home because that's at least how the world used to work. If you're afraid of catching something that's going around, you stay home. You don't mandate that everyone else has to stay home because you're fearful. But anyway, I digress. So we got the Trump show on, and it's a reminder that Trump's campaign came out and said they had 800,000 people signed up, and they can get 2 tickets each to attend this rally. Now, that's just total silliness since the place only holds like 20,000, and I guess they'll put big screens up for another 30 or 50,000 or whatever. But, clearly you could have held this in a big outdoor arena that seats 60, 80,000 and packed them in if you got 800,000 people wanted to show up, and they were lining up days ago and camping out. And, the excitement is building, folks. The Trump show is coming. And then, as I said, as I speak here, it's probably about 105 degrees, a little after 5 p.m. West Coast time. So I believe that the Trump show has debuted, if he isn't being fashionably late coming out on the stage. So I'm going to go watch the recording of that. But with 800,000 people signed up, or translate to Trump himself, therefore saying there's 1 million people signed up. Because Trump, ever the salesman, loves the puffery. That's the legal term for exaggerating in a sales or marketing environment, and it's legal, and therefore Trump, even though now he's the president, he can't teach an old dog new tricks, and so the anti-Trumpers love to call it lying. He's lying. Trump is being Trump. He's using puffery. He's slightly exaggerating all the time. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think it would make sense in Trump, in his brain, to ever, if he had 800,000 people signed up for something, which is a phenomenal number. It's an amazing number. I think that's more people than will ever see Joe Biden, his opponent, in person altogether. That's how many signed up for one event for Trump, but that's not good enough. Trump doesn't say, like, I just got to announce the 800,000, which is a record-breaking, unbelievable number. I still got to exaggerate, make it a million. Anyway, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am a student of manipulation, persuasion, sales, marketing, influence, whatever you want to call it. And Trump is, of course, the greatest living master of that. Our last president was phenomenal at it, but nothing compared to Trump. But anyway, here's the bottom line, the lesson learned from today's video, is the real reason to have a live event, to have a rally, to host a seminar, online, offline, a webinar, a Zoom event, a conference, whatever you want to call it, is to gather data. That's the real reason to have an event, especially if you are, well, even Donald Trump, you see, place holds 20,000, 800,000 people signed up, that's 40 to 1. So there's 40 times, there's 39 times extra of the people not showing up. So you can't make it all about just the people showing up. What about those other 780,000, or in Trump's brain, 980,000 or whatever, people that registered? You don't just say, oh, they didn't show up, so, let's go on to the next event. Like, no. We got to use all these signups in multiple ways to follow up and to bring in tons of money. It's what I call the iceberg theory. The people that are showing up, these 20,000, okay, it's a lot, 20,000. Again, even that is more than his opponent, Biden, is likely to get at any events he does all put together between now and Election Day. So 20,000 is even a lot. But if that's all he did, is say, I'm now going to communicate with these 20,000 people, and then we'll go on to the next event, like, what a mistake. His campaign knows exactly what they're doing when they say, I don't know how you sign up for them. You have to text a message or send a email or click on a something, or you likely have to already be on a Trump list from social media or whatever. I know all the people running for office now, they have on their podiums, like, text this to that and whatever, and Trump always has that. And speaking of Biden famously in one of the debates gave some, what I'm sure inside Joe Biden's brain was perfectly clear, directions to, like, text something to Joe 30330. There's wow, between the two inner workings of the brains of these guys, we got one, over-exaggerating inner brain world, and we got one demented inner brain world. And as usual, that's our choice for president, lesser of two evils. But I digress. The point is, Trump's campaign, the people that run it know, man, we got 800,000 names. We're going to follow up with them. We're going to let them know about future rallies. We're going to let them know about fundraisers. We're going to send out emails, text messages, whatever, invite them to our Facebook, Twitter, everything, get $5, $10, $1 out of each of them. Ask them each to call 10 of their friends. Ask them to put up a sign in the yard. Ask them to buy a Trump hat or a Trump t-shirt. Ask them to go on social media and put a post. There's so much you can do to follow up when you get the data, when you get the information from the people that register for an event, even if they don't attend. So if you're out there and you're hosting an online event, a webinar, say, and you get 100 people to register, but then you only get 10 people on the webinar, don't worry about it. Do the webinar. It's good practice anyway. You get a recording anyway. You can send that out and replay it, and there you go. That's one thing you can do. Send the recording to the 90 people. Send emails to the 90 people. Send direct mail, call them, text messages, communicate, follow up with all the people that expressed interest, whether or not they showed up at your event, online or offline. Don't just think the event, when the event's over, that's it, and we go on to the next one. I mean, that's how it would be, I guess, in personal life. If you said, I'm throwing a party Friday night, and invite some people over, and you don't even count how many people you invited. put some posts out and you made some phone calls and you whatever, and then 30, 40 people showed up, you had a nice party. You don't think the next day, man, there's 50 people I invited that didn't show up. Let's invite them to the next one. Let's ask them to invite their friends to the next one. Let's ask them for donations for the next party so we can serve better food and drink. We don't think of doing that, but that's especially what any business should be thinking about, any business owner. And since we have an entrepreneur in the White House, obviously that's what he's thinking. It's not anywhere near just about these 20,000 people or the hour or so, or an hour and a half or whatever he's going to go on going crazy for, and the media attention, yeah, that's going to come and go. But that data that he's collecting, all those names, hopefully for his sake, and likely, I don't know, I don't, maybe I would should I do it for education sake, just to, for just to see how they do it? But I can't imagine ever signing up to attend a Trump rally or to buy a Trump hat or to go to a Trump thing or get on his list or do any of that stuff. But maybe I should do it just as a research thing to see. But I'm guessing that they are collecting as much information as possible: names, address, phone numbers, following up like crazy. That's a big key to the success of any business or political campaign, charity, anything else, okay? The fortune is in the follow-up. Collect the information and take action on it after your event is over. The way I teach people to do events, and I've hosted almost 1,000 events myself for entrepreneurs and business owners over the years, I teach a before, during, and after strategy. So before, you see Trump collecting all these names and probably asking him to spread the word and doing all the promotion and all the PR and all the media stuff. And then there's during the actual, I don't know, does it go for an hour or two for the actual Trump show itself? But then all the fortune, all that 90% of the iceberg that's below the water is after the event. So you do not want to miss out on that 90% of the lion's share of what you could be profiting from anytime you're hosting an event. Trump is going to take this information. I'm guessing, almost without a doubt, that people registered or asked for tickets or whatever it was from many states away, from miles around. It's not just from wherever in Oklahoma. This is in Oklahoma, I think. It's not just wherever in Oklahoma it's being held. I'll bet people registered from all over the country and said they would fly there, although, can you fly now? I don't. They would fly, they'd walk, they'd drive, they'd hitchhike, they'd do whatever to get there. He's going to capitalize. His campaign knows. That's a big reason he won last time. And it's a big reason Obama won, by the way. Obama was known as the first social media president. But Trump and his campaign took it to a whole new level last time, and let's see what they do this time. But hopefully, I don't really care what Obama or Trump or anyone else is doing. I care about you, dear listener, viewer, reader, however you're getting this, that you understand what's going on behind the scenes and not just pay attention to the obvious. If you do watch this, you'll see highlights on the news and, oh, look, 20,000 people there. So what? So what? 40 times that many willingly volunteered their information to the Donald Trump campaign, raised their hand, indicated interest. Now, of course, some of them likely want to show up just to disrupt. They're anti-Trump, but the majority must be pro-Trumpers. So they have gathered a ton of valuable data, only valuable, though, if you take the action and you follow up. So hopefully that's what you do. Speaking of which, thanks for being here today. Thanks for watching on the replay. Tim Johnson is here. Great seeing you, my brother. And I hope you take action and you come back for more business building tips in a couple of days on Direct Mail Monday. Meanwhile, I'll check in as always on Sunday Fun Day tomorrow, when I will be likely taking several dips in the pool as the temps hit near 110 degrees here with my beautiful wife, Michelle. I will be on video to say hello, as I have for the past little over 3¼ years, every single day. I predict tomorrow will be another one of those. Catch you then. Over and out. Bye-bye.